Yes,
on in here?
that would be fine, Judge. I let Mr. Dreicer know I have 2 questions for redirect, but one that I want to proffer.
Okay.
And that is because,
You have more?
well, no, it would just be this one question, but I wanted to let court and counsel know, based on Mr. Dreicer's questioning of the firearm could be at Mr. Jones' house, you don't know, you've never recovered the firearm, it could be there.
Okay.
I would like to ask Detective Johns, because he's been instructed that we're not bringing in any of Henry Tenon's statements into this trial.
Okay. So, again, a proffer is a situation where the attorneys ask you questions outside the presence of the jury. It's for admissibility purposes only, so you may or may not answer these questions again in front of the jury. You may proceed.
Okay.
Detective Johns, independent of what Mr. Dreicer was asking you about a police report involving the Biggerstaffs, in February and March of 2023, without saying where you got the information, did you come to learn that the firearm, or as part of your investigation, did you learn that the firearm used in this murder was disposed of in such a way that it was unrecoverable?
Yes.
So that's what I'd like to ask.
Any questions based on that? But no questions for him. I'm asking questions.
I know, I'm thinking. Detective Johns, the information that the state's talking about is what you learned from Henry Tenon?
Yes.
Okay. That would be inconsistent with anything that you testified regarding the firearm being stolen in Texas, correct? Both things can't be true. It can't be disposed of in February or March of 2022 and then stolen in Texas, correct?
I can only testify to what I was told, and I'm only testifying to what one Biggerstaff reported.
Right? And what you were told is it was disposed of in such a way it was unrecoverable, correct?
Correct.
So then it couldn't be in Texas with Juan Biggerstaff, correct?
That's an inference.
You weren't told that the gun went to Texas.
That's correct.
You weren't told that the gun went to Juan Biggerstaff.
That's correct.
You weren't told that the gun went to John Biggerstaff.
Correct.
What you were told by a person who's no longer cooperating, who the defense has never gotten a chance to speak to, is that the gun was put into a junker's truck, correct?
A scrap metal truck.
Scrap metal truck.
Yes.
You just told me that you don't make inferences, correct?
I said you were making one.
You wouldn't feel comfortable making the inference that it would never be recoverable. Mr. Tenon never told you it was a scrap truck that could never be recovered, correct?
Based on the statement that he was made, I was answering a question, which was that he said it was put to a scrap metal truck.
That's it. That's all he told you. He didn't say anything about it being unrecoverable, correct?
Correct.
You don't know if you put it, you don't even know where in the scrap metal truck you put it, correct?
It was in a trailer of a scrap metal truck.
You don't know that. He didn't say a trailer. He just said he put it in a scrap metal truck, correct?
Correct.
You don't know if it was in the front seat, correct?
That's correct.
You have no idea what happened to that firearm, correct?
That's correct.
You have no idea that if that gun went to a scrap yard and it was being unloaded, that someone wouldn't have said, hey, there's a perfectly good 10 millimeter firearm that's only a few years old. That's unusual to be in a scrap metal truck. You don't have any idea what happened to this firearm, right?
Correct.
But for the state to ask you that it's unrecoverable, all the questions I just asked you would tell you that you have no idea whether it was unrecoverable because you don't know, right?
I only know what Mr. Tenon testified to.
And the only thing you know is that he said he put it in a scrap metal truck.
That's correct.
I don't have any more questions.
Okay, let me see you all at sidebar. Thank you. All right, welcome back. Everyone may be seated. Mr. Dreicer,
Detective Johns.
give the jury just a second. All right, you may proceed.
Detective Johns, lots of questions, back and forth. I want to slow down and make sure we get some timelines correct, okay? The state asked you on the redirect if Mario ever gave you any information, Mr. Fernandez, excuse me, gave you any information at his interview about a Ford F-150 truck. Do you recall those questions?
Yes.
And of course, he didn't do that, did he?
No.
When was Mr. Fernandez's interview with you? It was March 1st, 2022, correct?
Correct.
You didn't release the Ford F-150 to the media until March 9th of 2022, correct?
Correct.
So Mr. Fernandez, had he told you anything about a Ford F-150 truck, he would have been making a serious admission to you that he had knowledge about the crime, correct?
I mean, if he could
It would
have,
have been pretty damning if Mr. Fernandez started talking to you about a Ford F-150 truck, two-tone color, driving around Jack's Beach on the night of the homicide, right?
he was also interviewed at a later date after the release.
But that's not what they asked you. They asked you if in that interview he told you anything about a blue Ford F-150 truck, and he didn't.
You did not.
And you hadn't released it yet.
Correct.
And then you told the jury, in response to other questions that the state asked you, about him saying he got out of the car, and that they asked whether that had been released to the media, correct?
Correct.
But Detective Burrell and Detective Lamont went to Mr. Fernandez's home on the night of this homicide around midnight. You know that, right?
Yes.
And they gave a death notification, correct?
Yes.
And in a death notification, people ask what happened, right?
I don't know anything one way or the other about their conversation.
Because you weren't there.
That's correct.
And you don't know what they said, right?
That's correct.
And it wasn't a big secret that he was shot and killed. Miss Bridegan testified yesterday that they told her that he was shot and killed that night.
That's correct.
And he was found outside of his car.
Yes.
So that's not a big secret, right?
No.
And in Jack's Beach, the other question the government asked you is, did they record Mr. Fernandez and Miss Gardner when they were getting their death notification? And your answer was no, right?
Correct.
That's because in Jack's Beach, you don't utilize body cameras, right?
No, we do not.
So there would have been no way to record it if they weren't wearing body cameras, correct?
We do utilize handheld recorders at times.
At times, but it wasn't recorded because you don't wear body cameras, right?
That would be a better question for Detective Burrell or Detective Lamont.
Just like knowing what in fact they told Mr. Fernandez, you weren't there for that.
That's correct.
But you were there when Miss Bridegan learned that Jared Bridegan was shot and killed, correct?
Yes.
And you do know that Miss Bridegan went to the Fernandez residence the next day, correct?
That's correct.
You have no idea what they talked about, correct?
Correct.
So this is not some foreign concept that Mr. Fernandez, 2 weeks after the homicide, may have known that Jared Bridegan was killed outside of his car because he got out and that he was shot and killed, right?
Correct.
I left off asking you about some slides. And I said I was going to go in reverse order, but nope, she has it pulled up. This is the slide of January 29th that the state asked you about, right?
Yes.
And you said he could have been there at the same time, right?
They could have been in the same space.
Could have.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to ask you is, they also could not have, because the location data isn't accurate enough to put them at the same spot at that time, right?
I can only attest to what is on the slide. I'll let Agent Blythe answer your technical question.
Okay, let's see what's on the slide. Henry Tenon's in black in geolocation, correct?
He's the red dot.
Mm-hmm. He's the red dot. Right, and it's showing at what time? 2:06.
Yes.
Let's back down below. At 2 o'clock, he appears to be in the area of Potomac, correct?
That's correct.
And at 2:06, he's even farther away from Potomac, correct?
Correct.
And then look all the way to the right under the call-out box. At 2:10, he's even farther away than from Potomac, right?
That's correct.
So with your limited ability to testify, Mr. Tenon is leaving Potomac, right?
Yes.
His device is.
Yes.
But I'm going to agree with you that we all believe it was Mr. Henry Tenon in that truck that went on that dry run, right?
Yes.
There's two different technologies going on. We're using geolocation for Mr. Tenon, and we're using cell timing advance records for Mario Fernandez, correct?
Correct.
That's why you can't necessarily tell exactly where Mr. Fernandez is, because he's moving between cell towers using timing advance records, right?
Correct.
So up top at 2 o'clock, all right, at the same time, you see where we said Henry Tenon was at Potomac at 2 o'clock?
Yes.
You see where Mario Fernandez is at 2 o'clock? He's inside that top band, right?
Yes, but there is potential for them to overlap. And that was what was questioned, asked of me.
I'm getting there. At 2 o'clock, they're not in the same spot.
There's no data for both of them at exactly 2 o'clock or between 2 o'clock and 2:02.
Right. So the point is, they could have been at Potomac at the same time, or they could not have. They may have been two ships passing in the night. You can't say one way or the other.
I'll let Agent Blythe answer that question.
Well, I'm going to ask you to answer that question. You felt comfortable doing it for the state. You said could have. So you're also agreeing that they may not have, correct?
Based upon the time lapse, it is possible, yes.
That there are two ships passing in the night.
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll see what Agent Blythe says, right?
Yes.
May I have one moment?
Yes.
No further questions.
All right. Anything further?
Yes, ma'am. I have 4 questions. Sure, yeah. Detective Johns, when I asked you about Mr. Fernandez, you did have an interaction with him after the media release of the truck. In fact, you spoke to him again and took a swab from his cheek on April 15th of 2022.
Yes.
Did he mention at all a blue two-tone truck?
No, he did not.
And that had been released in the media for a couple weeks at that point.
That's correct.
And we went through the slide earlier. I know Mr. Dreicer was asking you about January 29th, but February 15th, the jury can go back and look, and Agent Blythe will testify. There's at least 20 to 25 minutes where Mr. Fernandez and Mr. Tenon together at Potomac the day before the homicide.
That's correct.
The surveillance in Nocatee he asked about. You all identified Henry Tenon as a suspect in this case in July of 2022.
That's correct.
When did you receive those LPR reports?
I don't remember the specific date.
Was it after that?
Yes.
And that was because you had no reason to look for Henry Tenon's license plate because you hadn't identified him or his vehicle up to that point.
That's correct.
And January 29th through July to August of 2022, is there much chance that businesses are going to have surveillance 6 months later? In your experience, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll lay some foundational questions. Obviously, you guys canvassed and collected a ton of surveillance video in this case.
Yes, we did.
And do you have experience in general, not from this case, but as a patrol officer and as a homicide detective in collecting surveillance cameras?
Yes.
Footage, excuse me. And generally, have you found in your experience that businesses or homes keep archived surveillance footage for that lengthy period of time?
Generally, no.
Mr. Dreicer asked you a bunch of questions about the car turning at Pablo Hamlet to the gravel lot that would make it closer to the police station at Jacksonville Beach. Do you remember that question?
Yes.
What else would turning into that gravel lot make that truck closer towards?
Mr. Fernandez's residence.
And then lastly, Mr. Dreicer had asked you about Mr. Tenon being at Marsh Inlet on January 5th because of his cell phone data, and he asked you about the significance of January 5th being towards the beginning of the month, perhaps something to do with rental payments. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
During your investigation, did you learn that January 5th, 2022 was a Wednesday date night?
I believe so, yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Okay. Anything further for this witness right now?
No, Your Honor. You may be excused.
Okay. Okay. Detective, you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You can step down. Also, Detective, before you go, the rules that I put into place about testimony at this point, you're now off the witness stand, so you can speak to the attorneys.
Thank you.
All right. However, the rule is still invoked. All right, thank you. Call your next witness.
The state calls Agent Mick Stengel, Kenneth Mick Stengel.
Good morning. Will you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
All right, this way, Agent. Watch your step, okay? There's a slight incline. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please introduce yourself to our jurors?
Hello, my name is Mick Stengel. I'm a special agent with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
And while we speak, does that go by the acronym ATF?
Excuse me. Yes, ma'am. ATF.
Agent Stengel, can you please give the jury a brief background into your educational experience, training and experience?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I've been an ATF agent beginning in 2008, so approximately over 18 years. Prior to that, I was a probation and parole officer in Louisville, Kentucky. I attended the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, where I did a approximate 3-month criminal investigating training program there, with an additional special agent basic training program of about 3.5 months, and that was up in Brunswick, Georgia.
What's your current position with the ATF?
I'm a firearms instructor for ATF at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center.
And if the jury's not familiar, can you describe what the ATF is? What organization, under what jurisdiction you operate?
Yes, ma'am. So we are under the Department of Justice. Our primary focus is violations of state and federal laws involving firearms crimes. So we will investigate armed drug trafficking, we'll assist with murders, pretty much any type of armed violent crime we like to assist our state and local partners with.
And where is ATF headquarters located?
Washington, D.C.
And what's your chain of command within ATF?
Currently, with my current chain of command is my branch chief, followed by our assistant special agent in charge, and then our special agent in charge. Then we have a deputy area director, and then our director.
And then does your director answer to the President of the United States?
Yes, ma'am.
What made you want to join the ATF?
I realized early on I wanted to be in law enforcement. I wanted to be able to investigate crimes, and I thought about just doing in my local city where I grew up, but then I kind of realized that I would like the opportunity that if my investigation took me elsewhere, I might be able to follow it, and it give me a greater ability to follow the investigation.
Within ATF, prior to being a firearms instructor, what other positions did you hold?
I was a special agent, I was a criminal investigator, so I would just investigate crimes or violations of federal and state law.
So a special agent is akin to a detective within the federal
Yes, ma'am.
agency. How are cases assigned, or how do you become involved in cases as an ATF agent that are not originating under federal jurisdiction?
Okay. We always try to work well with our state and local partners. So if we have, we know a detective working something, we'll offer our services, whether it be manpower, resource, any resource we can provide.
And currently you are a firearms instructor with ATF?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been a firearms instructor?
Approximately 2 years. Well, is my sole responsibility, 2 years. Other than that, I've received training since 2017.
In instruction?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you instruct other ATF agents and trainees on firearms?
Yes, ma'am.
And where's your current assignment?
Brunswick, Georgia.
I want to talk about your involvement in the homicide investigation of Jared Bridegan.
Yes, ma'am.
At the time, in February 2022, through, I will say, February or March of 2023, with the arrest of Mr. Fernandez, where were you located? Where were you, I want to say stationed, but where were you assigned?
Yes, ma'am. I believe I transferred down to Jacksonville. I believe it was in April of 22. Prior to that, I was in Louisville, Kentucky.
When you transferred to the local ATF office here in Jacksonville, when did you first become involved with this homicide investigation?
I believe that was in August of 22.
Was Henry Tenon already in custody on unrelated driving on suspended license charges when you got involved?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was some of your initial involvement in this case as an ATF agent?
Initially, we just met with the detectives from Jax Beach and just kind of got read in or updated on what had all had taken place in the case so far. And then from there, we just started going out. We would assist with interviews, and started out with just a lot of interviews.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions about some of the work you did in this case. Did you participate in a search warrant of 5239 Potomac Avenue on October 6th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And we've heard a lot about that from other officers. Did you also participate in the recovery of a blue two-toned Ford F-150 on October 14th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that at 1705 University Street?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you some photographs. Can you verify for me that you can see them on that screen? Yes?
They haven't come up yet. Sorry.
I have a thumbs up from the jury. Let's see if we can do this.
No, sorry.
Touch your screen and see if that helps.
I drew a line. No, ma'am. Sorry. Now I have something.
All right.
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been marked and entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 130. Can you tell the jury what we're looking at here?
That would be the residence located at 1705 University Street.
Okay, State's 131.
Same residence, just picture looks like it was taken from either the sidewalk or the street, and in the back left corner is the blue two-tone Ford F-150.
When you joined the investigation in August of 2022, Mr. Tenon was already in custody. What was the main focus of that investigation at that point?
We spent a lot of time trying to find that truck.
And did members of ATF eventually, using financial transaction records and cellular location data, zero in on the neighborhood where University Street is?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe for the jury, once you got a general area, how you all located the truck in this specific home?
Utilizing the Google location data, we drove to the area 1705, and once we essentially arrived at the residence, there we were able to see the truck from the street.
And in this photo, State's 131, is that fairly and accurately depict how the truck looked when you first arrived on October 14th, 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the truck parked in the yard, clearly visible from the street?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it covered up in any manner?
No.
Did you assist in securing the scene while awaiting a search warrant from Jax Beach Police Department?
Yes, I did.
Did you ultimately need a search warrant to enter that property?
We initially received consent for the yard, and but we ended up getting a search warrant regardless.
Was there a resident at this home?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was that?
Jimmy Jones.
And did you kind of take the lead on speaking with Mr. Jones?
Yes, I spoke with Mr. Jones.
And did he have any problem with you all coming onto his property and looking at the truck?
No issues, ma'am.
Was he cooperative with your investigation?
Very cooperative, yes, ma'am.
All right, State's Exhibit 132. I'm going to describe these for the record. This is the left side of the house and the back of the truck. State's 133. You see the back of the truck. State's 134. Was this license plate number verified on scene as matching the license plate number of the vehicle you were looking for, which was Mr. Tenon's father's vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
States 135, we see the passenger side of that vehicle, and we see the tires.
Yes, ma'am.
In States 136, in States 137, front passenger headlight of the vehicle. States 138, front driver headlight of the vehicle. States 139, driver's side. States 140, tires on the driver's side. States 141, we see the bed of the vehicle. Was anything of evidentiary value found in the bed itself when you were on scene?
I don't believe so.
Was the truck sealed, meaning taped and towed to be processed at the Jacksonville Beach Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what we're looking at here in 142, these little evidence stickers showing it's sealed?
On the door, yes, ma'am.
Same thing on States 143?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you were at Mr. Jones' home, did you search the interior of his home?
No, ma'am.
Did he seem cooperative and open to you coming into his home and looking around?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
And did you take him up on his offer and go inside and search?
When I was talking with Mr. Jones, I was building rapport with him. I did not know the status of where we were with the search warrant, and I wanted to make sure we maintained consent with him. At one point, I offered to carry in some items for him, and at that point in time, I don't want to get into hearsay, ma'am.
That's fine, I won't. But there was the ability for you to go in there and search if you had so chosen.
A statement was made, yes, ma'am.
And you did not feel the need to do that.
At that point in time, no, ma'am.
And can you explain to the jury why?
I'd been there speaking with Mr. Jones for approximately 12 minutes at that point of total time. He was very agreeable. He was accommodating. The truck was wide open, visible from the street. I felt like he was being open and honest with us. Just at that point in time, we had never even heard the name. I had never even heard the name Jimmy Jones. It was the first time he had come up in our investigation, and we were really focused on the truck at that point in time.
Following the recovery of the vehicle, I want to ask you about ATF's involvement with a man named John Biggerstaff.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any role in investigating John Biggerstaff?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that involvement?
There was an interview that me and Agent Simmons conducted with Mr. Biggerstaff. There was also, during the course of our investigation, we learned that he was on pretrial release on a federal case. And as part of his pretrial release, he had to create an inventory of all the firearms that he possessed.
So when you're investigating Mr. Biggerstaff, did you and Agent Simmons obtain documents from the federal government showing that Mr. Biggerstaff had in fact purchased a 10mm Glock firearm and had filled out a federal firearms inventory as part of his release back in his felony case?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Agent Stengel, I'm going to show you it's been marked and entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 191.
Yes, ma'am.
Take your time and look at that.
Okay.
you recognize these documents?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are these?
These are certified copies of 4473s. It's an ATF form that you complete when you are purchasing a firearm from a federal firearms licensee or a gun store.
And within those FFL E-Trace purchase records from the federal government, first of all, do they belong to John Biggerstaff?
The 4473s were completed by John Biggerstaff, and they detail the purchase of a Glock 10mm pistol on June 8th of 2016.
Thank you. And then I'm also showing you State's Exhibit 190. Do you recognize this?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you recognize that to be?
A copy of the inventory created by John and Juan Biggerstaff, detailing the firearms that he had as part of his supervised release, not pretrial release, supervised release.
And is this the federal firearms affidavit that you received as a federal agent during the course of this investigation, or a copy of it at least?
A copy of it was received by Agent Simmons.
And as a federal agent with ATF and former probation and parole officer, can you explain to the jury how a firearms affidavit works in the federal system? Do the federal agents come to your house and actually seize all your firearms from you?
No, that was something that was created by Mr. Biggerstaff.
And he has to file it to show he no longer has possession, but those guns can go to anyone who is not otherwise prohibited from having them.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you and Agent Simmons interview Mr. Biggerstaff?
I'd have to check the actual date. May I refer to my notes?
Yes.
November 18th of 2022,
And where did you and Agent Simmons speak to Mr. Biggerstaff at?
in his residence.
When you were at his residence, did you see any items that you would consider to be accessories for firearms, ammunition, or other weapons?
There was, he maintained a gun safe, or better described as a gun cabinet,
And where was it located?
on his back porch.
Can you describe for the jury what it looked like?
Again, it was more of a gun cabinet. I'd say a thinner metal. Usually a gun safe would have reinforced walls, maybe some fire retardant in it. This was just a cheap thin metal, about approximate, maybe a little over a foot in width, maybe 5 feet tall at best.
And was it consistent with, in your experience with ATF as a firearms instructor, something someone would store firearms in?
Yes, you could put guns in it.
More than one?
Yes, ma'am.
At the time you saw it, were there any firearms inside of it?
No, ma'am.
What was inside of it?
I believe it was gardening tools.
And was it appear new and in good condition, or how did it appear to you?
I don't believe it locked anymore. It looked pretty beat up.
So you interviewed Mr. Biggerstaff at his home in November of 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
Was this part of your efforts with ATF to locate the 10mm firearm or that you believe to be involved in the homicide?
Yes, ma'am.
And during your investigation and your conversations with Mr. Biggerstaff, was he ever able to provide you physically with a 10mm firearm?
No, ma'am.
Was he ever able to direct you to a witness that could provide you with that 10mm firearm?
Direct me towards a witness. I believe they went in the direction of interviewing his son, Juan Biggerstaff.
And did you interview I'm going to have to use their full name so we can differentiate on the record. Mr. Juan Biggerstaff, did you and Agent Simmons and other members of the team speak with Mr. Juan Biggerstaff?
Yes, but so did our counterparts in Dallas. ATF agents in Dallas also interviewed Mr. Juan Biggerstaff.
And why is it that you had counterparts within ATF interview him? Was he local or was he out of state?
He was living in Texas at the time.
Mr. Juan Biggerstaff.
Mr. Juan Biggerstaff, yes.
How was he employed in Texas?
He was a police officer. I believe it was the Irvington Police Department.
And ATF agents went and spoke to him
Yes.
at his job in Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
At some point after agents had spoken to Juan Biggerstaff and you and Agent Simmons spoke to John Biggerstaff, did you have the opportunity yourself to speak with Juan Biggerstaff?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you speak with him?
I believe we spoke with him in December of '22 when he came into the state attorney's office while he was in town on a trip.
At that point, had you had any success in locating the whereabouts of the 10mm firearm that Mr. John Biggerstaff had once owned?
No, we have not.
And you had agents speak to his son, Juan Biggerstaff.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you speak to a man named Fred Barton?
Yes, ma'am.
And still no information about where his 10mm firearm was located?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
When Juan Biggerstaff came to speak with you at the state attorney's office at the Crime Gun Intelligence Center, did you all ask him to wear a wire on his father, John Biggerstaff?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you explain to the jury what it means to wear a wire?
We gave him a recording device, which we actually gave him, I believe, 2 recording devices, one that was audio and one that recorded audio and video. We provided those to him, and then he went to his father's residence.
Was he willing to wear it?
I would describe him as apprehensive, but willing.
And at the time that you asked him to do this, was he still employed as a police officer with the Irving Police Department in Texas?
I believe so.
Did you give him instructions on how he should conduct this conversation and how to work the equipment itself?
I believe we did. We would have told him how to work the equipment. I didn't personally give him instruction on what to talk about, but the point of the conversation was to try to ascertain the location of the Glock pistol, the 10mm.
Did you all ensure that Juan Biggerstaff could not contact his father before he actually met up with him in person while he was wired up?
I believe we did.
Once he went to his father's house and had a conversation with him, did you review the contents of the wire recording?
Yes.
Were there portions of the audio missing from that recording?
Yes, ma'am.
From that conversation, did it appear to be, what was the tone of the conversation without saying what was said?
Right. I don't believe Mr. Juan Biggerstaff was completely full.
Grounds.
He's going to be speculating on his opinion.
So as to the speculation, I'm going to ask that you just rephrase that it has to be his own personal knowledge, and I'll overrule the other.
And you're on the right track. I know you mentioned hearsay earlier. Without saying what they talked about, based on your training and experience as a special agent, what did you perceive the tone and tenor of that conversation to be? Did it appear to be flowing naturally? Did it appear?
It did not appear to be flowing naturally.
What do you mean by that? Again, without saying what they said.
Yes, ma'am.
To you.
I'm trying to recall exactly. It just did not seem natural. I know I'm repeating myself. I apologize. Let's see. The conversation presented itself as if that he was wearing a wire, that there was it was hesitant.
Okay. You may proceed.
Okay.
Thank you. Agent Stengel,
Yes, ma'am.
your perception of reviewing that tape was it did not appear natural.
Correct. Asked and answered.
Okay. Sustained.
From that conversation, did you all obtain any investigative leads that helped you locate and physically recover that 10 millimeter firearm?
No, ma'am.
In June of 2023, were you alerted by the same ATF agents who spoke to John Biggerstaff back in 2022 as to a police report that John Biggerstaff had filed in Dallas, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you obtain a copy of that police report in that investigation and relay that to your fellow teammates on this homicide investigation?
Yes, I believe Agent Simmons received the report of the report you're referring to. Yes. Yes, sorry about that.
Do you need him to repeat? Okay.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor, may we approach just for scheduling purposes?
Yes.
My God.
All right, Agent.
Yes, ma'am.
The state has another question. Okay.
Okay.
Agent Stengel, in your 18 years of experience with the ATF and as a firearms instructor, have you come across many 10 millimeter firearms in the other investigations you've done as a special agent?
No, ma'am, this is the first.
And would you say that in your training and experience with the ATF and as a firearms instructor that a 10 millimeter firearm is relatively unusual?
It is unusual, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now I am done. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Agent, we're going to come back after the lunch period to take up your cross-examination.
Yes, ma'am.
What I'm going to instruct that you can leave in just a moment, but you are still considered to be on the witness stand, and you should not discuss your testimony with anyone, and that's including the lawyers. Do you understand this court's instruction?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You can be excused for the lunch period. Members of the jury, I have an unrelated hearing that I have to have in a separate case, so I need to kind of expand or lengthen. You can go ahead, it's fine. Lengthen your break. So I'm going to do an hour and a half, but if it kind of infringes on the staff's ability to have a break, it may be just a little bit longer, but know that it's not the parties that sit before you right now that is the delay. It's this court's schedule with the other case, okay? But I will try to be as on time as I can. It is 12 o'clock now. We will come back in session on this case at 1:30 or as close as I can get to it, okay? Leave your notepads on your chair. Enjoy your lunch. All right, please let the record reflect that the jury has left the courtroom. This court will be in recess to set up the jurors' lunch. We will not start the Gardner hearing until the jurors have crossed over to the other jury room. So court's in recess until that process is taken